The wine glass trembled in her hand, just slightly. Not enough for anyone else to notice. I noticed. Her smirk was effortless, practiced, the kind you build after years of winning rooms without ever earning them. Candlelight caught the edge of her mouth as she leaned back in her chair, legs crossed, voice light. "Men literally line up for me every day," she said. A pause. "Don't you ever forget that important fact." Laughter fluttered around the table like nervous birds. 4 women. 4 husbands absent tonight. "Just girls," she had said. "Just wine." I watched the way her friends looked at her. Admiration. Envy. Fear. Something else underneath. Something guilty. I took a slow sip of water. Cold. Clean. "Oh," I said quietly. "I definitely know." She turned to me, eyebrow lifting, inviting the game. "Mike," I added. A breath. "Jake. Chris. Brandon." The room died. Chairs creaked. Color drained. One of the women dropped her fork. It rang against porcelain like a gunshot. My wife's smile froze mid-curve, as if her face had been interrupted by a thought it couldn't survive. Those were all their husbands' names. I didn't look away. Inside, something ancient and precise clicked into place. It hadn't started with names. It started with patterns. Late-night phone calls she took on the balcony. The way she angled her screen away from me, like shielding a flame from wind. Perfume reapplied before grocery runs. A laugh she didn't bring home anymore. I told myself stories. Work stress. Midlife boredom. My imagination. I am good at lying to myself. I had years of practice. But the silence between us grew heavier. Her body stayed beside mine at night, but her attention slept elsewhere. She spoke in summaries. She touched me like a courtesy. One night she came home smiling in a way I hadn't earned. That smile stayed with me. It followed me into sleep. I didn't confront her. I cataloged. I listened. I watched reflections in dark windows. I learned her tells. The way her voice softened when she lied. The way she over-explained when cornered by nothing at all. I found a receipt in her coat pocket. Dinner for 2. A place she said she hated. I put it back. The betrayal wasn't loud. It was meticulous. A mosaic of tiny, deliberate choices made over time. She wasn't careless. She was confident. And confidence leaves footprints. I became patient. Patience is a form of violence you commit against yourself. I synced the phone backups she didn't know existed. Deleted messages leave ghosts. Timestamps. Contact shadows. Patterns of absence. I cross-referenced dates with her girls' nights. I watched the gaps where names should have been. I never raised my voice. I cooked dinner. I asked about her day. Inside, the storm organized itself. I followed the money. Small charges. Hotels paid in cash but booked online. I followed the calendar invites disguised as yoga classes. I followed the way her friends avoided my eyes when they came over. They knew. That was the sharpest cut. 4 women. 4 marriages. 1 shared secret rotating through bedrooms like a ritual. My wife wasn't just unfaithful. She was central. A gravitational force pulling men out of their homes while their wives poured her wine. I rehearsed conversations I would never have. I imagined screaming. I imagined silence. I chose silence. Truth ripens best when you let it think it's safe. The final confirmation came in a folder. Clean. Clinical. Indisputable. Messages recovered. Photos. A shared album mislabeled with a dog's name. Dates aligned. Locations overlapped. 4 men. Years. I waited. When I finally spoke, it was at that dinner table, under soft lights, surrounded by the architecture of her lies. Her face collapsed in increments. First confusion, then recognition, then terror. I didn't raise my voice. "I know everything," I said. Not loudly, not cruelly. She reached for my arm. I didn't flinch. That hurt her more. Her friends stared at their hands, at the floor, at nothing. My wife opened her mouth, closed it. The truth crowded her throat and refused to pass. For the first time, she had nothing to sell. I stood. The movement felt ceremonial. "I sent everything," I said, looking at the women. "To you, and to them." A ripple of breathless horror. "Check your phones." My wife's chair scraped backward. She whispered my name like a plea, like a threat. I leaned down, close enough for only her to hear. I waited because I wanted you comfortable, I said. You lie better that way. She shook her head. Tears surfaced. Too late. Always too late. I straightened, picked up my coat. I won't be dramatic, I said to the table. I won't ask why. I looked at her one last time. You mistook my silence for ignorance, I said. That was your only mistake. I walked out while the room imploded behind me. The night air was sharp, honest. I didn't feel victorious. I felt light, like something diseased had finally been cut away. Betrayal doesn't end with screaming. It ends with clarity. She would spend the rest of her life explaining herself to rooms that no longer applauded. I would spend mine remembering the moment I chose myself without asking permission. Some people lose love, others lose control. I left her with the truth, and I took everything else with me.